Boy, oh boy, Fusion Corp fans, we're coming at you right now with a big video. This is Dragon Ball Super episode 109, 110, the double-length feature episode from Toei Animation. This is our discussion video for that. Boy, do we got a lot of stuff to talk about. These two episodes were insanity. They're probably some of the best work that Toei has done on Super. I'm not going to say it's the best stuff that Super has produced thus far, but it's pretty close. Yeah, I still am leaning towards the Zamasu stuff as being better, but this was incredible. It was crazy. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, let's just talk about episode 109, which is the build-up. I mean, there's been a lot of build-up towards episode 110, but episode 109 was the direct build-up to what happened in episode 110. We start off with Goku versus Ribrianne, which was kind of meh, but it was slightly interesting, and it spent a little time getting Goku warmed up, so to say. I mean, he's been fighting for a while now, but he was actually getting a little tested. He was getting tested by Ribrianne. Mind you, he was still in his base form fighting her, but he had to go to the blue form to fight her for a second. But the stuff really picks up. I'm just going to skip over the Ribrianne stuff. I don't even really need to talk about it because we got some major stuff coming after that. We got Jiren and Goku going at it. Good fucking God, this was intense. So in 109, the fight essentially boils down to Goku's getting absolutely just worked over by Jiren. He's going through all of his forms, which I thought was super cool. Minus Super Saiyan 3, he goes through all of his forms and tests them against the strength of Jiren, just to see what he needs to do, where he needs to be at when he finally decides, I'm taking this really seriously, right? Everybody's like, why is he doing that? Krillin understands what's going on, which I thought was really nice to see Krillin on the sidelines. He's been around Goku for so long, so of course he understands what is going on with Goku. We push farther into it, and Goku, he hits Super Saiyan God, the red-haired form, and he has to make Jiren move. Mind you, he's blocking everything that Goku's throwing at him with one punch, which was incredible. Goku then goes Super Saiyan Blue, and I thought there was a funny line in there where Master Roshi, I think, says, he's actually going to use Super Saiyan Blue. He's used it like 5 times in the tournament so far. So that line kind of didn't make a lot of sense, but he's legitimately using it, I guess is what he means. He's going to use it for an extended amount of time in the tournament. So after this line, Goku is in his Super Saiyan Blue fighting Jiren. Jiren actually starts having to block some of his punches, even though there's not really a chance that Goku's going to hit him. He's still incredibly outmatched. There's one great little shot in this where Goku goes into his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 10, the King Kai Fist times 10, for just a second. He uses it for like 1 second to throw a punch or to block something, I can't remember, and it looks awesome. It looks so cool. But then he goes right back into Super Saiyan Blue, still not doing anything, and then Jiren just starts, destroying him again. But after that, Goku goes straight into the Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken, and it's revealed that he was in Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 for the entirety of the fight, or as soon as he turned it on, that he was already in times 20, which is the first time we've ever seen that. And he's still getting bodied by Jiren, still getting absolutely bodied, and there's nothing Goku can do about it. That is like, I love that so much. I think that's the first time we've ever seen, which it's essentially a new form for Goku right there. Not really a form, but it's a new level of power that we've never seen Goku. And compared to the Kaioken times 10, he's literally 10 times stronger than that. We know Goku is so incredibly powerful in that moment, that that scene is just that it's so perfect to show Jiren's level of power, because all the Z fighters are like, yeah, Goku can go times 20. We haven't even seen his full power yet. And then Beerus is like, yeah, he can't do that. And then they're like, why? Oh, because he's already been doing it. He's just fucked. It was awesome. Goku, back to base form, gets up and he's like, I'm going to use my trump card, which he said in the preview for the 2 weeks ago, the Frieza Frost episode, which is the Spirit Bomb, the Genki Dama. Gets up on top of a big rock to throw out the Genki Dama. And as he gets up there, he asks for the energy, gets enough for a Spirit Bomb, right? And he throws it. Jiren, at that moment, is like, you know what? Take your time. Throw it at me. This is your ultimate move. Show me what you got. Not even moving. So crazy. Goku throws the Spirit Bomb. Jiren puts up one hand to block this thing, right? And starts pushing it back. Goku starts to power up after he's thrown it. Goes up to Super Saiyan Blue. Goku starts pushing it back towards Jiren, but Jiren is actually starting to work towards it, and he's easily pushing it back at Goku. The episode ends with Goku kind of starting to get enveloped by the Spirit Bomb, so to say, and then episode 109 ends. Right? It was a great episode, perfect build up. If that was an episode and then we had to wait a week, I would have hated it. I would have hated the way it ended, but we got the next episode last night too, so it was perfect. So after that, we go into episode 110. It starts with all the Z fighters, which I love this. They don't even do a recap, which it doesn't make sense for them to have done because we just watched the episode. But I still love the fact that they didn't, and they added in a little scene where the preview usually goes. And it's all the gods, all of Universe 7, some of the gods and angels are saying, oh man, who would have thought that his own move would have enveloped him? After that happens, Goku powers up again. I think he goes into the Kaioken and starts to push it back one more time. He pushes out of it, and then Jiren's like, all right, I'm sick of it. And he pushes Goku into it, and then the ball starts to like flex, and like their energy is too much for it. So it starts like condensing and pushing back out. It's so cool the way the Spirit Bomb is getting just manhandled. The Genki Dama is literally pushing itself in and out, and it's like a supernova about to explode. And the stage starts to crumble, and all the fighters are just kind of, they're all in awe, except Vegeta, who's like, I'm not giving you any of my energy, and he's still fighting Ribrianne, which I thought was a nice touch, too, for later in the episode, and something I'm going to touch on a little bit later. But we have all these guys are just in pure shock and awe, and all the gods, and this is such a great point, the psychology of this tournament. They're doing a great job acknowledging the psychology of the tournament. And I think that's something people aren't giving a lot of credit to Toei for, the writing. In this scene, they're all talking about, like, if Goku, who is a very formidable fighter in this tournament, most people acknowledge he's probably the second or third best fighter, maybe the fourth in the tournament. Even some of the people who underestimate him know he's up there. But they're all acknowledging if Goku gets beaten so handily by Jiren, what are the rest of the fighters in this tournament going to think? Are they going to still have the will to fight in this tournament? Or are they all just going to crumble under the absolute fear of Jiren's power? And later on we see that that's not the case, but Goku gets enveloped by the Spirit Bomb. And there's this just incredible scene of him, his energy is depleted and he falls into the Spirit Bomb and is absorbed by it, which is the first time we've ever seen anything like that, from Goku's perspective, obviously. It was just so surreal to watch him get taken in like that. So, Spirit Bomb, he goes into it, Goku's gone, there's a big explosion. Everyone is like, oh my God, Goku is gone. There's a look of pure fear on Gohan's face, Piccolo's face, all the Z fighters. And then we cut to the hardest one to watch, which is Beerus, which I thought was so awesome. It was so well done. He's honestly devastated, you know? He's so sad that Goku is gone, and I think it was a beautiful way of acknowledging his friendship he's developed with Goku, and how far he's come as a character in the course of Dragon Ball Super. And I think that this is another thing that people might not be talking about enough is how far his development has gone. It's very, very similar to Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, right? Beerus started off as just like a non-caring, non-committal person who just, God of destruction, not a person, God of destruction who couldn't care less who he was fighting. He just wanted the challenge of somebody. And he told everybody, you're not worthy of fighting me, And he, gives Goku some praise after their initial fight in Battle of Gods. But really, it's not anything more than, you have the potential to be something great. But there's this acknowledgement, the silent acknowledgement. Even though he says a few words, he says nothing like this. There's a silent acknowledgement of who Goku is as a fighter and as a person that he respects a lot. And he's almost the saddest of all the people in this whole Tournament of Power to see Goku gone, which leads to probably the best line Beerus has ever delivered other than his Hakai line, which is, he's coming. He says this because there's some shaking around the Tournament of Power, which I skipped over a little point to, which I'll just briefly cover. Some of the fighters from different universes start to circle Jiren, and we see that the psychology of Goku losing, because everybody at this point thinks Goku's lost. The psychology of Goku losing hasn't affected these fighters enough to where they're going to give up and not fight Jiren, which is awesome. It's an underdog story for the ages, really. At this point, everybody in this Tournament of Power is an underdog. We don't know what Goku's going to do. I mean, unless you knew the spoilers. We don't know what's going to happen with Goku. He's just gone from the Tournament of Power, and everybody thinks he was vaporized by the Spirit Bomb, which makes sense, So, the Tournament of Power stage starts to shake. Some of the rocks start floating up. The power level is rising. Somebody says they feel an incredible heat coming from the stage, and lo and behold, it is Goku. And his reappearance brings up the biggest point I want to talk about. Goku's new form is not so much a new form as it is a new state of mind for Goku. They acknowledge this, but they don't specifically address what it is. And maybe you guys can correct me if you think I'm wrong. But from what I understand from this episode, Goku comes back with his new bluish aura, his new hairstyle. He has the silver eyes. So I get it's technically a new appearance, but from my understanding of how the gods describe it, it's called Ultra Instinct. What Goku is in this state. And it's not so much Goku has achieved a new level of power so much as he has gotten to the point where now his techniques and his movements and his fighting style, he doesn't even have to think about what he does. And you could argue the fact that, he didn't really have to do that before. But yes, he did, and they make it pretty clear in the Universe 6 versus 7 tournament where he's planning out his moves seconds before he does them, and that's how he beats the time skip. So we know that up until now, Goku has been thinking about his attacks before. And I think maybe somebody can come up with the specific episode this happens, but I'm pretty sure there's a moment in the show where Whis actually mentions fighting in a state where you don't have to think of how you're fighting. It flows through your body naturally. And this is what Goku has done. It's his Ultra Instinct. His instincts have taken over his body. He doesn't have to think anymore. And for that fact, he's much faster and he can combat Jiren which we start to see here. He comes straight at Jiren, starts to fight him. But at this point, Jiren has Toppo and Dispo are with him. So he's getting attacked by Toppo, Jiren, and Dispo. Not so much Jiren, but really Dispo and Toppo are attacking him while he's attacking Jiren. And he's dodging all their moves. There's an incredible shot of he throws Jiren he throws Toppo and Dispo. He catches them each by their feet and then throws them. Toppo lands with his feet up against the wall of the crater that they're standing in. And he's like, fuck, this guy just caught me and threw me like I was nothing. And he's like, all right, Justice Flash, throws out the Justice Flash. Goku does this like little turn move and walks away from it. And he eventually blocks one shot, but I think he did it just to prove the point of like, stop, like we don't need you in this fight. We're much beyond you. And I mean that scene, I just keep thinking of it. It's so crazy. So while all this fighting is going on, I'm going to keep coming back to the fighting. We're seeing shots of Whis and the gods are watching the fight in Goku's new, whatever you want to call it, new state of mind, new form, new transformation. They're watching this new Goku. He's different, right? I'll just say this new different Goku. The new Goku. Not new different Goku. That's too many fucking words. New Goku. They're watching him, trying to figure out what is going on. Why is this dude so different? Why did he get so much more powerful in this split second? The Grand Priest kind of understands what's happening, or there's a moment where it looks like he figures out what is going on, and then it cuts to Whis, and he's like, oh, I figured it out. And Whis explains that it is the Ultra Instinct, or that's what he thinks it is. That's what he supposes, at least, that it's this Ultra Instinct. And there's a really interesting line in here, which, is, I think, going to be a big conversation point for some time to come, especially if we see this form again, which I know we will. I'm just more referring to, like, in the upcoming weeks if we see it again. The line that Whis says is that this Ultra Instinct is not something easily obtained by even a god, which to me implies that this Ultra Instinct is not specific to a Saiyan. This isn't a Saiyan transformation, so this isn't something that Goku and Vegeta, Gohan are specifically capable of reaching. This isn't any Super Saiyan level, Super Saiyan God. This is its own thing, completely separate from all of those. And, he makes it clear that even the gods have a difficult time getting to this state, which from my interpretation of the line, I'm going to give you what I directly think it means. I think that it's essentially like you get it from meditating. And I think that is what Jiren was trying to accomplish in the build-up to the Tournament of Power. When we see him meditating in solitude on the planet, I think that he's trying to get to this Ultra Instinct mode. I think he's extremely close to it, but he hasn't achieved it. And then Whis goes on to explain that Goku probably got it by going into the Spirit Bomb. He was about to be vaporized, but he pushed through his shell, broke through his limits again, and now he has reached a point that is almost incomprehensible for most of these people. We cut to Gohan. I'm not necessarily doing these in order. I'm just doing them, off the top of the head, and as thoughts come to me, I'm kind of giving them to you guys. We cut to Gohan, and he's kind of talking. He says something along the lines of, Goku, he's like, Dad isn't fighting the way I've ever seen him fight before. He's moving differently, which I think is super interesting too, right? You would think that if he has just perfected his instinctual reaction to moves and he's not thinking, that he would move the same, he would fight in the same style, and essentially move faster. I mean, I don't know how else to explain. Just move faster with the same techniques. Sorry, I hiccuped. Yeah, just move faster with the same techniques. But he doesn't do that. He legitimately is fighting in a different style. He's more like he flows in a different way. His body is more loose. He does more flips, and he contorts his body in a different way than he usually does. I mean, if you guys disagree with that, you can feel free to tell me in the comments, and I can just keep watching. I've already seen it a couple times, but from what I saw, I've never seen Goku move like that before. And all the other characters seem to be acknowledging that as well. He also has a different voice. His voice is kind of layered. It has it almost sounds like the way a character's voice sounds when they're fused, when you have the two voices layered over one another. He has like a deeper voice over top of his regular voice. It's the same lines, but it's just they put them over each other, and his voice is deeper. It's pretty interesting. It's not like his regular, like, as he powers up, his voice changes a little bit. This is really different. He sounds like a different person. And on top of that, his hair is way different. His features are a little different too. Let's go back to the fight. Goku is throwing out a lot of punches. Jiren is still blocking them. Goku's not really getting hit though, but I didn't really see Jiren throw a lot of attacks at this point in the fight. It's more Goku on the offensive, with Jiren on the defense. All the gods are acknowledging the fact that they're extremely scared of Goku at this point, because he has reached a point that gods struggle to reach. He's giving off this crazy heat. His body is giving off this heat, which they kept touching on, and I knew, as soon as they started saying that, I knew that was going to be the downfall of this form, so to say. Maybe it's something they're going to break through eventually. I think that I thought that immediately when they started talking about that, I was like, oh, all right, well, he's obviously not going to beat Jiren here. I'm pretty sure I knew that already, though. But I figured that was going to be the reason he was going to falter or come out of this new form, so to say, was because of the heat that he's radiating. It's just burning away his energy. And part of the reason he's in that form is because he absorbed so much energy from the Spirit Bomb all at once. It's essentially the same thing that happened to him when he got the Super Saiyan God transformation. The other Saiyans put their Saiyan, the energy into him, and he reached the new level of Super Saiyan, the Super Saiyan God for the first time. This is pretty close, where he has this immeasurable power, but it's because of all the energy that was put inside of him so quickly. I'm hoping they explain it a little bit better. I'm glad they explained as much as they did, for the mere fact that some of the other stuff we've seen in the show has had no explanation. So I'm glad to see this one get more than that. We had almost an entire episode of them in the background talking about what the hell is going on and why he looks different, why he's so fast all of a sudden, and why he's so strong all of a sudden too. But they didn't explain necessarily how his energy was coming to be, right? If he can ever reach that limit again, or that point, will be interesting to see, because from an explanation point, he's never going to get a Spirit Bomb's worth of energy directly into his body again. So the only thing I can assume is, his body has reached that point. This is what always happens, really. His body has reached that point. Now he can reach it again. It's just like Super Saiyan God. He hit that point once, so now he knows what it feels like. He can get back there. Moving on a little bit, Goku is still throwing a barrage of punches. We eventually get to the point where Goku is taking control of the fight. He's still in the offense. He hits Jiren with a knee to the body. And this is coming directly after we cut to Android 17 and 18. And I think 18 asks 17 who's winning the fight, who has the edge in this, and 17's like, I don't know. It's a little early to see. But I think it's pretty clear at this point that if Goku could keep going in this form, he has pushed farther than Jiren. He can beat Jiren in this form. And if you guys don't think I'm right, just let me know what you guys think. So after this, Goku hits the big knee to the body on Jiren, flies back and puts his feet on the big pillar in the center. Jesus Christ, the center the center of the Tournament of Power stage. And then he pushes forward with like a crazy big punch. And it kind of pushes out, the camera pushes out, and we have like a big overhead view. And then it cuts back, and Jiren has blocked his punch. But it's because Goku has fallen out of his Ultra Instinct state, form, transformation, whatever you want to call it. He's fallen out of it. And his energy is exhausted, essentially. He can't go in that state any further. So Jiren's like, your heat, you Saiyans, this is he's like, you Saiyans are interesting, but this heat is your downfall. Your energy is depleted. And he just destroys Goku. Goku flies and hits a wall. And Goku he's sorry, Jesus, man, I'm having a rough time right now. No, I'm fine though. He's laying on the ground, and it cuts to him, and Vegeta, sorry, I just bumped the mic, cuts to Vegeta standing over him, and he's like, what was that? How did you do that? This scene is really important to me, guys. I think Vegeta is usually the person in Dragon Ball Z that could, just for the mere fact of who he is and how much he has his rivalry with Goku. When Goku reaches a new level of power, and it's something we've never seen before, Vegeta is usually the person who is freaking out the most. He's usually the person who is in pure and utter disbelief of what's going on, and it didn't really cut to Vegeta doing that. It was more just like, what's going on? You know, he's not in disbelief. He's more just like, what is that? Which I thought was really interesting, guys. Why is Vegeta so not in disbelief? He's not even like in shock at what's going on. He's more just looking onward and seeing what's going on and trying to figure out what it is that has happened to Goku. But I think Vegeta, if anything, with all the training he's done, I'm pretty sure it's all but a fact. Maybe I'm wrong, but all but a fact that Vegeta has better stamina than Goku does. And I think in this moment, Vegeta is purely trying to just figure out, obviously, how he can do that form, but just to see if Goku is the same person that he was before. And I think it's pretty important. I think this scene is very important for Vegeta as a character because he's going to get that form. And that was a really big question before, when this whole new transformation was announced and we started to see pictures of Goku. There was a lot of people very upset that Goku was getting another transformation and Vegeta didn't have it. I think Vegeta's going to get it. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they said Vegeta has reached that point, or if Vegeta reaches that point without needing some giant burst of energy that Goku got. I think Vegeta's going to reach it naturally, which he seems to do almost every time. He got Super Saiyan just through training. He got the Super Saiyan Blue off screen through training with the gods, training with Whis and Beerus. I think Vegeta's going to get it in this Tournament of Power. And if you guys have been keeping up with our Dragon Ball content, I have stated numerous times that I think Vegeta is going to win the tournament. I think that this scene goes to show that he is going to win the tournament. You can debate me if you're wrong. I'm not saying he's going to beat Jiren. I don't think anybody's going to flat out beat Jiren in this Tournament of Power. He's too strong. I still stand by the fact that I think Goku and Jiren are going to double eliminate each other eventually. But I am all but certain Vegeta is going to win the tournament. Fight me about it. I'm just kidding. Don't fight me. Subscribe and like. Yeah, I think Vegeta is so not in. I think Vegeta knows that he's capable of that transformation too. In that moment, He's seeing what Goku's doing, and he knows that he can do it. Whether or not he wants to be in that exact form is up for debate because the form has a lot of flaws from what we saw with Goku. He burned out of energy extremely quick. But we'll see what Vegeta wants to do with it. But I think he can do it, and I think he acknowledges in that scene that he probably can do it. He just wants to know, he wants to ask Goku essentially, are you okay? What happened to you? You were kind of different for a little bit there. What was going on? Moving on, right then, Vegeta goes to fight Ribrianne, and then Goku uses instant transmission, presumably somewhere where he can hide and rest for a little bit to regain his strength. Then it cuts to this beautifully animated shot of Frieza standing above him, and he says a line that is incredible. He says something about, he's like reminiscing about the time on Namek with Goku. And I think a lot of people are going to say, oh, he's referring completely, and he's standing over him with his hand outstretched with some energy, like ki in his hand, and it's purple, could be Hakai energy. He's standing above him with his energy, essentially like baiting the fact that he's going to kill Goku right there. And I think the memory is going to be quickly misconstrued to Frieza or Goku being out of energy and Frieza going for the kill shot or reverse of that moment. But I think what it's actually referring to, what Frieza's actually referring to, is when Goku gave him that energy to survive. If you remember at the end of the fight on Namek between Goku and Frieza, Goku gives Frieza a little bit of energy. He sends it down to Frieza so he can live, so he's not killing Frieza in that moment. And I think Frieza is going to give him his energy so Goku can get back up, which it'd be really, really cool to see. I hope Frieza's not making a 180 character shift, which I know he's not, but it just feels so weird seeing him do good things back to back to back and fighting for the good guys. But I really think that it's going to be revealed that he's giving Goku some energy so that Goku can get back into the fight quick. And especially if Frieza has mastered the Hakai energy, which some people theorized that when he was in the ball, the Hakai energy ball, and he did his little fake out, that he learned how to use the Hakai energy. He might be giving it to Goku, right? Which would give him all of the power he needed to not only go back to that form, but probably sustain the Ultra Instinct form, which would be a great explanation as to how he could use it again. But I want to see, maybe Frieza's so confident in himself that it makes me wonder if he has passed up his golden form too. It's the same thing with Vegeta as it is with Frieza. They're both so calm, cool, and collected seeing Goku in this new state that it only makes me wonder if they are farther ahead than we know they are, which a lot of people have said they probably are, but I think they're probably a lot farther than even those people theorized that they were. Because every time Goku reaches a new form, these dudes are the main ones freaking out over what's going on. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Frieza does. He's not going to kill Goku, obviously. If he's going to hurt him, that's a possibility, or maybe even eliminate him, but I don't think that's going to happen either. Like I said, I think he's going to give him some energy, and Goku's going to get back up in his new form. Let's just wrap it up, guys, on this video. I'm going to put out a couple more videos in the next couple days, just discussing some of the stuff that happened, maybe going a little bit more in depth with some of the points that I brought up in this video. But I just want to wrap up these 2 episodes. I think Toei did a wonderful job with these episodes, that is. The build-up was it was a long time coming. It was a long time coming to see Jiren versus Goku, and it definitely lived up to the hype that was built up around it. And Jiren most certainly lived up to the hype with his power levels, and the way that they showed his power was expertly done. He just manhandled Goku at every step of the way until the new transformation, and then even then, he was still doing pretty well against Goku. I love the fact that with this new transformation, it's not the Deus Ex Machina that all the other transformations are. It isn't the moment where Goku gets Super Saiyan and he can't lose anymore. Or he gets Super Saiyan 3 and he can just defeat the strongest villain they've ever seen. Or not defeat him, but just kind of work him over for a while, you know? And in that sense, I think that this transformation, they did it really, really, really well. And I want to hear what you guys think about the transformation. I'm going to put out a specific video explaining from my perspective what I think this transformation is. I touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to go a little bit farther in depth with it and explain what I think it is in regards to Goku, the other gods, and other mortals, if they can reach it as well. But yeah, man, just you guys, thank you so much for listening to this video. I really appreciate it. I know I rambled. I'm just so excited about this. I'm trying to get better, but sometimes the excitement, the hypeness, it takes me over. It's like I fall into the spirit bomb, the Genki Dama of hype, and I just can't control myself. I get very excited. Anyways, guys, this has been your boy Pete over at Fusion Corp. If you like what you hear, stay tuned. Got more stuff. Go back, watch some of the other videos. Some of the videos that I put out a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, are, in my mind, coming back looking pretty good. Possibly like I could be correct in the future, but we'll see if that's true or not. Anyway, guys, hit that like, subscribe button. Thank you so much. Peace.